I'm down here at Little Five Points now in Atlanta. It's a legendary historical spot down here in Atlanta. And last week I had that question that I asked everybody about how do we find tomorrow's young leaders? And I got a lot of good responses, a lot of good comments from people. And it seemed like the common thread was we have to lead by example. And I think, there are two types of leaders. There's leaders that are born and leaders that develop. And, there's a story about Native Americans and how they would stand behind the wood line and watch the kids play, and they would watch the kids and see which one of the kids was naturally the leader, the one who was leading the games, the one who was really taking charge, and then they would work to develop that person and that child. And I think, with that same mentality and what we see now, what's going on with social media and how our kids are in school, we have to have that same mentality. We identify that natural young leader, but at the same time, we got to find that leader that needs to develop. And how do we develop them? I think the biggest part about developing our kids is about really sharing ourselves, sharing pieces of ourselves, our own stories with them, sharing our mistakes, telling them our stories, and letting them know that, no, you can make mistakes and you can overcome that. Things can happen to you that you can overcome in your life. Things are going to come at you all the time, but how do you get over it? I think right now, a lot of our kids, the skin is not thick enough. Things happen to them, they get put out there in the social media world, and that follows them around forever. They make one mistake and it follows them around forever, and it's hard for them to overcome that. But we got to get past that. We got to get by that. I think one of the biggest things about our leaders also is that you have to accept the responsibility of making a mistake that can affect a lot of people. When you take lead, you're making choices that can affect the people that are actually following. And a lot of people are not willing to step up and accept the responsibility of that. And, unfortunately, that's a sad thing, but at the same time, everybody can't be a leader. I'm not even sitting here saying everybody can be a leader. But when we do identify somebody that has that natural ability, we got to develop them. We got to work with them. We got to talk to them. We got to lead them into where they need to be. We can't make the choices for them, but we show them a way that we can guide them by explaining to them about our mistakes and our journeys and our path and our travel. And I think that's the number one thing. So I'm asking y'all now this week, how many of y'all are willing to step up and actually be that leader who's willing